Hey guys, what's up? Nadio Risi here with you today from Secret Life Success. The topic of today is about environment. Environment is something really critical in our life and our business because it really can determine our life and our directions. As human beings, we tend to take the same habits and same behaviors of the people we surround ourselves with. So we really need to be careful to surround ourselves just with like-minded people, with positive people and successful people. Now, 50 or 60, 100 years ago, probably this was not possible because there was no internet, so we couldn't surround ourselves with the people we wanted to. But today, thanks to the power of the internet, we can surround ourselves with people that we want to. So, think about it, think about yourself. The people around you, maybe you've noticed that people around you are people maybe in your same job or maybe your same interest. And think about it, successful people surround themselves with people more successful than them. So in this way, they force themselves to level up, to grow. And there is only one way to grow, to surround yourself with positive people and study from them and learn from them. At the same time, if you surround yourself with negative people, with failure people, guess what? You're gonna become failure as well. Not because you want to, but because your habits and your patterns and your behaviors become the same of failure people. You need to know that we are a spiritual soul living in a physical body. What that means that we operate our life based on frequencies and energies. We tend to attract the same people with the same energies and the same frequencies as ourselves. So think about it also, if you play the radio on one channel, you're connecting yourself with that channel, and on that channel there is a specific name of the radio of one channel. Same as TV, when you press one button on your remote, you connect with a certain channel on the TV, and this it can be applied as well in our life. So we operate at certain frequencies and levels of energies that we tend to connect with the same people with the same frequencies as us. So what's going to happen when someone tries to level up these frequencies? So it happens that when you try to think in a different way from someone else that is the same as the same frequencies as you had before, when you try to level up, these people, they're going to try to pull you down. Not because they want something bad for you, but that's because you're not aligned anymore with their frequencies. So maybe it's just because they love you too much, they try to pull you down just because they don't feel like you're on the same level anymore. And this way, what's gonna happen? That if you're trying to step up your game, if you try to grow yourself, if you try to level up, you're gonna find a lot of people. Sometimes it can be people in your family, your friends, maybe people around you, that the more you grow, the more they try to pull you down. That's because they are afraid, and that's because of awareness. You don't know how to do something until you know how to do something, right? That's pretty obvious. But at the same time, this is really important because the more you grow, the more they try to pull you down because you're doing something that maybe they are scared or maybe they never did before. So you're going outside your comfort zone, and they are scared for you. So they're gonna try to pull you down and to bring you back to the same frequency as they have. But you know what? If you want to improve your life, if you want to grow your business, if you want to grow as a person, you need to level up. And you need to hire these frequencies and these energies in the way that you can achieve the results that most people don't have. Because most people, they're just at the basic frequencies. So they live in their comfort zone. They're not trying to step up their game. They're trying to live in this environment that's around them that they feel comfortable. You know, sometimes the environment is not maybe the best environment they can have, but at the same time, it's not even the worst. So they feel in some way they accept to feel, and they accept the way, they accept the idea of feeling good. But in reality, they're not feeling good, they are just accepting what is happening to them. So that's why you need to be really careful with who you surround yourself. You know, I remember when I got a degree in economics and business a long time ago, and I was working as an accountant. After 8 years of being an accountant in Italy, I decided that, you know, first of all, I noticed that I was surrounding myself with people with the same interests and the same job and the same environment. But then I realized that that was not what I wanted to do. So after maybe few months of thinking, what should I do in my life? I decided to quit my job. And you know what, like, I decided to completely change my life, and I left from Italy, I left and I moved to Hong Kong. Now, I still remember that my family and my friends and all the people that I knew, they thought I was crazy. They were like, come on, Nadio, you have a stable job, you earn good money, why you're moving? And then when I tried to explain them that to me money was not like the source of happiness, like it was not that if I was earning money was making me happy. So they were not understanding, because I tried at that time. I remember I was hiring my frequencies, my energies, and of course included my family and my friends. They tried to pull me down. That's because they were scared for me, not because they don't love me, because they were scared. That's why I was doing something that they never did before, and that's why they were like, come on, don't do that, come back here in your comfort zone where you feel safe, you feel safe, you feel comfortable. But that was not what I wanted to do. That's why I quit my job, I quit everything, and I left to Hong Kong, and I moved to Hong Kong. Then moving back to Hong Kong, you know, I still remember, like, you know, before to talk about my experience in Hong Kong, I remember that when I was an accountant, as I told you, I was surrounding myself with people with the same interests, with the same colleagues, and we were talking about every time about the same things, about the same topics. And the same, like when I was playing football, I surrounded myself with people who like football and with the same environment. When I tried network marketing, e-commerce, food and beverage, like everything I tried, I noticed that as human beings, we tend to adapt and we tend to surround ourselves with people in the same interest. And maybe you can think about it, you can notice yourself. Maybe if you're doing a job, you can notice that people around you, your circle of people, are the same people that you work with, you hang out with. And that's because in some way you feel like you have the same interests, the same things in common. But you need to ask yourself, is the thing that your friends, your family, and people you surround with are the same people that are you helping to grow, or are the people who are keeping you down and pulling you down from who you want to become? That's the important question you have to ask yourself. Once you understand that, you know, there is a saying that it say, if in the room you are the smartest one, maybe it's not you're in the wrong room. That's because you need to surround yourself with people in some way smarter than you, bigger than you, with more bigger vision than you. That's because in this way, these people, they forces you. It's not like they really force you like physically, but mentally and at subconscious mind, they forces you to level up. They forces you to step up. They forces you to become better. And that's the main reason about the environment that is so important in our life. So, what else? One thing that helped me studying from successful people, I remember one of my mentors, he told something like, if you want something, start to think about, as I told you already in some other lessons, but start to think like as you already have it. So you have to put yourself in this environment having achieved already your goal. And at the same time, let's say if you live in one house, maybe it's not the house of your dream. I'm not saying that you have to move straight away, like probably I did. I quit everything and I just take this leap of faith and I left. But maybe there is some neighborhood in your area, or maybe there is some places close by to your place. Try to go to these places. Try to see it physically as well, and then mentally. Like, try to surround yourself with the environment that you think is best for you. Try to surround yourself with all the things you need and all the things you want in your life. So I told you, it's all about awareness. You don't know how to do something until you know how to do something. And this is like really, really, really important. And this is one lesson that when I learned it, I was like, man, that's true. And then I was like, I started to force myself. I started to push myself and to step out from my comfort zone and started to do things that I was a little bit scared to, because of course, like when you try to higher up your frequencies, there are some things that they're gonna scare you. There are some things that you're afraid of because it's something that you never did before. So you are reaching a level of frequencies where most people don't reach. That's why few people are successful, because they are willing to do something that most people, they are not willing to do. And that's the main difference. As I say to you different times, it's about habits and patterns. When I lived in Hong Kong, Hong Kong is one of the most expensive cities in the world. And of course, there are a lot of rich people. And working in Hong Kong, at that time I was working in a cocktail bar, so in the food and beverage business. And of course, at that time I was surrounding myself with people in the food and beverage business. But at the same time, I was meeting a lot of rich people. And in some way, I started to try to hang out with them, try to stay in touch with them, because I wanted to see what they were doing differently from other people to be at the level who they were. So that's why I started to notice that they have different habits and different patterns compared to majority of people. For example, a lot of people, they say, I don't have money, I don't have time, I don't have this, I don't have that. But then I noticed, for example, one simple thing, these people, they don't watch Netflix. Instead of watching Netflix and maybe spend 3 hours on social media just hanging out and scrolling down all the videos and pictures, they were studying from successful people. They were studying what it takes to be successful. And that's the main difference. I remember when I was working in this bar, we were working 9 hours, sometimes even more per day, and we had 1 hour break. And I remember every single day I was listening 30 minutes of my break, like a message from Earl Nightingale. And then a colleague, once he came outside, and then he was like, why you listen to this every day? And of course, they were watching in their break, maybe they were watching some TV series, or maybe sometimes I had a colleague who was watching cartoons, or maybe just checking the phone without nothing useful. And then I was like, because this is not the life that I want, and I know that if I want to create the life that I want, there are certain things that I have to do every day. It's all about habits. It's all about that little things that you do every single day that makes the huge difference in the long term. It's like the boat. If you take the boat and the boat leaves from the harbor, if you just change from 1 or 2 degrees the direction, you cannot see the difference straight away. But in the long term, the boat will take a completely different road. So that's why be careful to who and what you surround yourself. Environment is really critical. So with that said, have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow.